People often think that they should only have their money managed by financial advisors if they're rich. They often say, I don't have any money, I don't make much money, I couldn't possibly have a financial advisor. Well, I sat down with the owner of the Financial Gym. That's right. Imagine a gym to get you fit, to get you ready to live your best life. There's now one to get your finances in order. And it's not just for rich people, it's for everybody. So tell me, what is the Financial Gym?
The Financial Gym is a place you can go to get your finances in order. I had the idea for it a few years ago, and I thought when I was on a weight loss journey and getting physically healthy, I thought there's so many places we could go to get physically healthy, but if people want to get financially healthy, where would they go? And I thought you'd go to a Financial Gym.
You have been on both sort of ends of the fee structure.
Yes.
How does it work?
I started my career in investment banking, and then I became a financial advisor at Merrill Lynch. And to work with me at Merrill Lynch, you had to have $250,000 in assets. You literally didn't even count as a client unless you had $250,000 in assets. And I was building that business and helping high net worth individuals, but also meeting what I call my pro bono clients, people who didn't have $250,000 in assets, but wanted to speak to a human being and help them figure out their finances. How do I get to $250,000 in assets when I'm literally living paycheck to paycheck?
For people who are just overwhelmed by their finances or think they know nothing about this, how do they even get their head around it, get started?
I get asked a lot about what's the challenge with people with their money. And I always say the biggest challenge is that people think it's just numbers. There's so much emotion we have around our money, and fear and shame are the two biggest. And we hear people come in here a lot and they have a lot of shame. They're like, I don't know this. I don't know what I'm doing with my money. And my response is, there's no reason why you should know this. You probably didn't learn about it at home. You didn't learn about it in schools. You're not learning it on the job. So why should you know this? There's no reason why. But just like, regular literacy, financial literacy takes some time, and you do have to, it's a language. You do have to learn it and spend some time doing it.
How much money do you have to know you need to hire a professional?
I mean, to work with us at the Financial Gym, you don't have to have anything. We've had clients start with us with negative dollars in the bank because they have bank overdraft fees and they can't figure it out. And we've got clients with $8 million in the bank. I think that's something that I love about what we've built here, but I think it doesn't matter what you have in the bank. Everybody should have access to somebody to help them with their money if they need it.
What's your one piece of advice for someone who avoids thinking, talking money altogether?
Take a deep breath, have a glass of wine, it's gonna be okay, and start looking at it, because especially women, we just want to avoid it, and I understand, I was like that too, but the more we avoid it, the more the problems build up. It's really not that scary. We say everything you do is fixable financially, so everything is fixable, it's just a matter of how much fixing we have to do.
We just gotta face our fears.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.